All right, what's up, everyone? Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Hello Hair Pro podcast. How's it going, Jen?
Good. How are you?
Great. So today I want to talk about how salons are seeing a separation. We did a prediction episode in I think November. And I had predicted, one of my predictions was you're going to continue to see the sort of separation in this industry between what I just kind of came up with as tier A salons and then everybody else. And as I look around, I see that, I guess, more and more. So I just thought we'd talk about it today.
Okay.
Yeah, great. All right. Well, we always start with our opening takes. So let's get those going. What do you got, Jen?
I go with try something new. So, if those of you that don't know, I decided to be an assistant basketball coach for my daughter's team this year. Really did it so that she would play basketball because it's one of my favorite sports. And we finished up our season. We had one win, but I'll tell you this, the girls all had fun. But as I was putting Gwen to bed that night after they lost the playoff game, so they knew they were done. And it was really sweet because she said to me, "Mom, I'm so proud of you for trying something new. It was really cool." And as our kids grow, like everything starts changing and people are like, "Oh, do you like this phase better than that?" And I like every phase for what it is. But this one right now, our kids are becoming just, to me, like almost little adults. And to have your kid just say they're proud of you was really cool. And it was definitely something way out of my comfort zone. I can coach hair and help people get better at that. But coaching basketball, I felt a little bit lost at times and definitely was something that was fun. It was challenging. I learned a lot. And I guess just kind of cool that my daughter was proud of me. So do something uncomfortable, grow a little, and maybe someone will be proud of you too.
That's cool. That was a good one. Mine's not as thoughtful, I guess, or not as nice. It comes from just what I'm talking about or what we're going to talk about this episode of how just businesses separate each other. And a big part of it is just doing the little things well. So I was, for example, in the store today and I needed to pick up some groceries. And I thought I might as well kick out a couple of nights worth of dinners and just pick stuff up. So by the fourth or fifth item that I couldn't find in the store or that was gone or just not there, I asked a woman if she had something and she was like, "Did you look where we keep it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she walked over and she's like, "Yeah, I don't have that." And I'm like, "Okay." So at that point, I just turned around, I put everything back on the shelves and I left. And I didn't overreact. I didn't get mad. I just thought in my head, if I need to go to another store, I'll just give that other store all of the money rather than give a little here, give a little there. It doesn't make sense to me. And you should pay attention to that within your business, because when you start not paying attention to something that doesn't seem like a big deal to you, it might be a big deal to somebody else. And again, today wasn't even a big deal. I wasn't angry, nothing. It didn't upset me. I just was like, I'll go, if I have to go to another place, I'll just go to another place. And again, I don't think people always think of things as big deals or not, but it doesn't mean other people don't value that part of your experience or that part of your service or whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, little stuff that you do at your salon that, or whatever business. We're talking about a big grocery store. They're not going to notice me not shopping, but over time they might. I don't know. All right, let's dive into this though, so we can kick out this episode. You ever walked into a business? This doesn't even have to be specifically about salons, and it just feels calm, feels organized, it feels clear. It feels like there's intention. Sure. It feels like there's like people know what they're supposed to be doing. People are happy to be doing it. And then have you ever walked into a business it just feels off? Maybe
that, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe you're not sure what to do, and it feels like nobody really is sure what to do. So maybe say it's a restaurant and they don't really greet you right away because they're not really sure what's going on, or something feels stressful. It's just like a vibe, right, that we get. Well, that's probably not about the things that you think it's about. And we'll break this down in a little bit. But I would I would argue that is probably about the structure or lack of structure and the leadership in that business, and not necessarily about personalities or the individual people.
I would agree.
All right. So that's kind of what we're talking about today. A lot of salon owners assume all their problems are caused by what, Jen? You have examples?
Well, one's going to be employees.
Yep.
One's going to be not enough clients.
Difficult staff. I had demanding clients.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Anything else?
Not enough clients. Did I say that one?
I don't know. You said something about clients.
Yeah.
And then I've heard people blame the industry. It's
I've heard that. The economy.
The economy stuff.
Probably they blame it on the pennies. I don't know.
The pennies.
That could be one.
Yeah.
Pennies are a good one.
So those things aren't what's affecting your business. Those things aren't really impacting your business. Yet we hear them all the time. Why is that? And if those
it's easy to just blame stuff.
Oh, yeah, right. Of course. And if I was going to say, if those things aren't what's impacting your business, then what is something that's going to impact your business that you might not have thought about? Unclear expectations.
I was going to say you need system, structure.
Yeah. Inconsistent leadership. How about that? You show up and you just point out a bunch of stuff that's wrong with your team, and then you leave.
Or you allow it. You're like, they're just always late. That's just how it is. Okay. You don't have to allow that.
Right. What was I was saying something. I forget. Anyways, we'll move on. Lack of systems. Did I say that one? I think you said systems.
Yeah.
The reactive sort of decision making where you only make decisions when stuff comes up rather than plan ahead. Oh, I was going to go back to the unclear expectations. If you're not telling people what you expect, your business is going to end up a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it's going to go because people have different ideas. Jen, you sometimes tell a story about cleanliness and someone was like, oh, I cleaned the bathroom. And then you walked in there and you were like, what?
Yeah. They deep cleaned the bathroom. It was a deep clean.
Oh, deep.
And then I walked in and I was like, I don't even see that you cleaned anything. So I'm like, show me what a deep clean is to you. Because we need to actually figure out what cleaning a bathroom looks like. If you're trying to help. I mean, that's all.
Yeah. But if you don't lay out, well, either way, with your cleaner, you have to give expectations.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you have somebody come into your house, even let's take this out of business, out of salons totally. If you have somebody come into your house to help with cleaning, unless you tell them your preferences, how are they going to know?
Right. They wouldn't.
No,
they're just going to guess. And then you're going to be frustrated because they're not doing it the way you wanted it.
Exactly. And that's going to lead you to having a business that's chaotic and stressful and not fun to manage at all when it doesn't really need to be that way. Again, a lot of your chaos that's happening in your business isn't the personality issues between employees. It's not quote unquote toxic behavior or anything, whatever buzzword you want to put in this week. It's not that stuff. It's your structural ambiguity, I guess. It's you. There's no defined anything. It's just sort of open for interpretation.
Mm-hmm. Which is never good. And you're going to keep putting out the same fires.
Exactly. So how do you build a calm business, a calm environment? You're going to have to run through those things. So let's look at it real quick. Your expectations need to be laid out and those need to be written down somewhere. We don't need to spend a lot of time on this stuff because I feel like we used to spend a ton of time on it. You can go back and listen to whatever episodes. You're going to have to be consistent in your leadership. If you can't do it, hire a manager. And hire a man. Look, I see this too. I've seen this a lot in other businesses, but you're not hiring a manager to be your enforcer because you don't have a backbone to tell people to clean their stations. That's not what a manager should do. A manager should be taking leadership tasks off of your plate. Your managers should be running one-on-one meetings if you have managers, not you. That's why you have a manager. Otherwise, what are you paying somebody to do? To enforce your rules that you just because you don't want to enforce them? To tattle on people when they're late and you're not there? Like, is that where we're going with having a manager in a salon? To book appointments? You can have software book appointments for free. Well, not free, but you know what I mean. What else are you going to have to do? You're going to have to build, and I'm getting sick of the word systems too. This is becoming like a buzzword now. But you're going to need to build and lay out repeatable systems so that you don't have to continually talk about stuff over and over and over again.
Well, and I will say this, people like rules. They need to understand what you expect from them, how you want them to do things. They want to know the outcomes that you think they should be doing. Without that, they're lost. And most people aren't going to say to you, I want rules, but they do. People want some sort of rules and structure so that they can follow them, especially your rule followers. They really need that. And then your ones that aren't generally rule followers, they're going to be the ones that you're just going to have to walk through the program. But people need rules.
Yeah, agree. And I had stable standards too on my list for things that you're going to need to have in there. And what do those things do in your business? They're going to create that calm. It's not having a calmness in your business is not going to accidentally happen. You're not just going to be chugging along and then one day all of a sudden everything just falls into place and fits. That's not realistic. Mm-hmm. So by laying out all that stuff, by doing all that stuff, by being an actual leader or putting somebody in charge and allowing them to be an actual leader, not micromanaging or not having them do whatever, you're going to let people know what they should be doing, where they should be, how things work, what happens in this situation, what happens next, those sort of things. Because that, if you have that stuff, or actually, if you don't have that stuff laid out, you're going to be putting out the same fires again and again and again. And that's where you're going to lose your temper or, yeah, it's exhausting. I don't want to say the same thing 92 times. So just put a system in place, tell people where it is, refer to that. And if people can't get on board, then they shouldn't be at your business. Just, it's as simple as that.
Correct.
Again, there's intentionality that comes with that is needed though for you to put this stuff into place. Systems are going to reduce your emotional friction also. So what's a good example? I guess when someone uses the common sense thing, well, it's just frustrating because they should just know. That's you being emotional because you didn't lay out clear expectation. So somebody didn't do it the way that you wanted. That's on you. But now you're irritated and taking it out on them, or you're frustrated in a Facebook group or wherever you're putting this stuff because you didn't do it. So now you're emotional. Everything is going to become personal. And everything. Go ahead.
I always, in these scenarios, I wouldn't say I'm not the common sense one, but in scenarios where the staff is not maybe following a rule, or recently there was one of just a consultation not being done to the standard that we want, I always just pull them aside. Like, hey, did you hear how you just sounded? Like, this is what went on, whatever. And every time they're thankful. They're like, oh, why did I do it that way? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. You have to do that stuff. If you think something is common sense for someone and they didn't do it the way you thought, then ask them, what's going on in your brain? Because I expect it to be done like this, but you did it like this. You've got to help figure it out. That's also learning your team. You'll learn their strength. You'll learn their weaknesses. You'll learn how they operate and how they react. Those are all responsibilities of a leader.
Couldn't agree more. I lost my place. In my notes here. We can skip some of this stuff too. I want this to be a quick episode. I don't want this stuff to sound like preachy. I just want to get the information out there because it's the patterns that I see over and over again in people's businesses. Like it's the same people asking the same, or not the same people, but it's everybody asking the same group of like 10 questions. And I think to myself, if the entire industry is struggling with these, say 10 things, why? What about this is giving the industry trouble? A lot of it comes back to you're just not looking at stuff and making a decision. It's really what it breaks down to. Everything is on you. When you are the leader of a business, whether you're the owner or whatever, you are responsible for everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome stuff, whatever. You're responsible for all of it. And
all of it.
yeah. And you are the one that sets the tone. So even if you have a manager, say you're completely hands off, you don't even do hair, you just own a hair salon and you have a management team that you put in place and you built this business, it's still your responsibility to set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are somebody that's reacting to all these things because you haven't put any systems in place, everybody's unsure, everything's inconsistent, everything is just, nothing's clear. Your team is going to feel that. Your clients eventually are going to feel that. Like I said in my opening take, when it's little things that start to compound over time, like you might not think it's a big deal to have to answer the same question over and over because you don't feel like writing out a manual, until the one day that somebody cut you off in traffic or you're running late or whatever, and then you snap at your staff and you're like, I've already told you 100 times. Like, no, that's on you.
Right.
That's your fault. And so if you want your environment to stabilize, if you want things to be calm, then you have to be calm. You have to be mindful. You have to be thoughtful. You have to be the one that's making the decision. So you've got to be decisive. You have to have some sort of structure that you operate within, or nobody else is going to. Jen, how many times have we talked to salon owners that will say, oh, I have all this stuff, but it's like it's in my head.
Right. Which means it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Again, I think we had an episode, maybe it was the last one before. If you're that person, it's in your head, then you need to have an office day and you need to get this stuff out of your head and on paper and start putting it in place.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So I talked about separating the salon industry, separating into like tier A and then everybody else. And tier A was just, it probably something that just popped in my head. I didn't see it anywhere. I probably stole it. I don't know. But anyways, back in, I think it was November, we did those, or I released them, the prediction, 3-part prediction episode. And go back and listen to that, because a lot of what I said in there is, I mean, it's March, right? It's early March, and a lot of that stuff's coming true. So it's pretty spot on. I'm proud of myself for those.
Great job.
Again, thanks. I totally believe that you were 100% sincere when you just said that.
I was.
Oh, okay.
It didn't sound it though, but I really was.
Not at all. All right, so let's talk about, I guess we can wrap up on this, but let's talk about what I mean by this tier A and everybody else. It's not good salons versus bad salons. It's more of who is intentionally building a business and who's just
winging it,
or even worse, who they don't know. They're not even to the point where they're like, what do I need to change? They're just like, oh, this is working. Maybe you just opened and you're less than a year in and you're like, everything is awesome. It's not going to be. Something's going to come up. And I hope it's something small and you can use it to sort of pivot and straighten your business out. But sometimes it's something big. We've dealt with some big stuff in the last, 2 months. But again, our business isn't as chaotic as it would have been if we were people that weren't prepared for anything.
Right.
How many times have you heard somebody say something about insurance? What a waste of money. Imagine if we didn't have insurance.
That would be closed.
Right. So again, let's get back into this. So tier A salons. This has nothing to do with the size. This has nothing to do with how much revenue you bring in. This is not a 6-figure stylist. This is none of that bullshit. This isn't about using the word luxury. It's not your social media followers. It's not how much you charge for a haircut. It's your behavior. It's your constant pursuit of things like growth and new opportunities and real education, real putting in quotes, meaning you actually do it or you actually care about education. It's another one, Jen, that I feel like people are like, we do a lot of education. And then it's like, we just watch each other. That's not education. There's a time and place for that, but we've talked about it a million times. So go back and listen to whatever episode that was in. I don't know. You're constantly looking to improve the structure of your business. I'm trying at all costs to avoid the word systems. I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, skip that. Business owners that are constantly evaluating things like their client experience, or how about this one? Dun, dun, dun. How about your employee experience? Mm-hmm. What does it look like? What does it feel like to be an employee at your business? Have you ever thought of that? Do you even care?
I would imagine most people don't think of the employee experience. I think a lot of owners think of their employees as like a pain in the butt rather than like, and when you do that, everything breaks down because you're not treating them like they're part of the core of your business, right?
Yeah.
We say it all the time. We have to treat our employees the best so that they'll treat the clients the best. If they understand what it's like to be treated the best, then they know what it's like to treat the client the best. If you treat your employees like crap or you look at them as more of just a pain, then you're probably sitting in a business where you're annoyed and it's your fault.
Or you don't have employees and you're wondering how to get them.
Or you can't keep them.
Yeah, that all falls on you. And you should ask yourself what's going on there. It's not the younger generation doesn't want to work. We have plenty of the younger generation at Hello. So we've proven that wrong.
It's also understanding how they want to work. They're not you. They're not your generation. It's fine.
Right.
They're not going to do what you did, nor should they probably, to be honest.
They're not going to the mall to hand out business cards.
No.
Because, want to know how I know? I went to a mall recently. There was nobody in there.
Yeah, that's
Who do you want these people to hand out business cards to? The nobodies? The people that are around?
Yeah.
What about leadership as something that you are constantly evaluating? If you are the business owner and you have people under you, are you evaluating yourself? Jen and I do this at least yearly, where we come up with things that we are like, where did we fall short this year?
Mm-hmm.
Where could we have been stronger? Where could we have made a change? Where could we have prevented our staff from having to sit through that BS or whatever things might come up? I guess tier A salons never stop evolving. That's probably a pretty easy way to say it. And then everybody else those are the businesses that sit there and maybe things are going great. And maybe things go great for like 15 years. Mm-hmm. Maybe you lucked out. And then all of a sudden, your business closes. I have seen more salons close in the last couple weeks on Facebook. It's insane to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Jen and I, we don't want that. I think there's room for everybody. I saw somebody else say that the salon industry is oversaturated and that's why people are struggling. What? Do you know how many people there are? There are so many people in
your there's area. Enough heads to go around for everybody. Everybody plus.
Yeah, even people that are like, I'm in a small town, so I can't do this and I can't do that. You're blaming external instead of looking within. You are everybody else. You are not tier A until you can get over that because you're still not building a business. You're still complaining about everybody else. Yeah. That is a great place to wrap up. But these businesses usually are the ones that are blaming the economy, blaming the younger generation, blaming the industry itself. That's a funny one. I saw that recently. I saw today, Jenna, something about schools. It was blaming schools because if you only teach people to pass a test, then what do you...
That's their only job.
Then what do you expect? Yeah, that's their only job. I saw somebody say, my school didn't teach me about finances and taxes.
They're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Nor would I want to take advice from a hair school about that stuff.
They're teaching you to get a cosmetology or a barbering license. Why? Or aesthetics license. Why would they teach you financial planning? What are you talking about?
That's sure just the school told you exactly what they taught you.
That's just you blaming, again, somebody else instead of building your business. Yeah. I've seen people blaming clients. Clients just aren't spending like they used to. Clients this. Clients don't want this. Why not look at it the other way? What do clients want? Then create your service for them. Have you ever thought of something as simple as that? I mean, yeah. All right. I guess we can wrap up. Good news, though. This isn't about any of those things. So it's not about the talent that you have behind the chair. It's not about resources, not about your location. It's about your intention. Do you want to build a business that can thrive and last, or do you not? Mm-hmm. Are you so arrogant that you think none of this stuff applies to me? I'm all set. That's great. I hope it lasts for you. It will. It might for a little while, but I've never seen anybody outlast just not caring, and just like allowing themselves to become complacent. Same thing goes for every other industry. Same exact thing. All right. I guess that's all I got, Jen. I don't know. I feel like I just kind of ranted.
It was great.
All right, cool. I guess we'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Have a great day.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.